Embra studio na me ma aye menuanum akwaba andi kan kam element chances na Awudu Mahama enso so element ya anapa yede nkomotihwe no yede ehihye so na yedi enkomo a na anapa yi ade ne ye kan ho se yedi nkomo efa aye the commencement of the e-levy ane eho ensensem na press freedom index a eba na nsen Ghana position e kuduru ye 60 from 30 response are every government for ABBA and a commenter on my phone making as to how we landed where we are. Press freedom and one sense Nina Yedi and who encomo. And you know, me man penny for Akwaba. Andy, morning.
So me Joso.
Na bibi awoko de.
Omo de dia che wona me.
Ah,
sida na de
say. Unia Nancy wako no sabana. Unia Nancy wako no sabana.
Azaja on the opposite contest Lambuse. Sisala West, right?
What about Lambuse? You are still mentioning Sisala West. There are two different constituencies. There's Sisala West, there's Lambuse, there's Sisala East, and then there's Y East.
It's Lambuse, the other contest.
That will be main contest.
On Gobium.
Mankase Meko Lambuse. That's my constituency. And what I'm
here
and say,
it's a man for the floor to Unkwana.
Oh, Munyan Fremi, so I'm friend, dear Meko.
But
the only thing I am advocating is say, yeah, Kufo Creative District, no 2007. May say, Okosa District, who an inch of Star Road. Until NDC for Kufo year and NDC by 8 years. Akufado Subai, President Akufado Subai 5 years in it. An inch of tar road and Lambuse district. Until Abai a power chop. Yes, we are Kagana.
I think that you must write an open letter
to the president. Amakwata, okay. Everywhere Amakwata. In fact, my people in the Sisala enclave have met with him. Only said discovery buyer from World Bank said the cocoa growing areas, food growing areas. Yes. In fact, Upper West and then Sisala areas, they produce more maize in this country, and yet we were not part of the AE. And some call demonstration, press conferences. They have to come to Jubilee House to meet with the president.
So write an open letter to Amakwata.
Amakwata anyway.
I know asking him to bring back this toll levy so that
for
nothing
for Lambuse
honorable Amakwata
and you will support that
because they are trying
yeah we support that
honorable Amakwata macho yes for toll bana na ye kwan wo Lambuse district. In fact, not just Lambuse district, all the areas Lambuse district, Sisala West, Sisala East, and Y East. Kwan nyanya but particularly Lambuse.
Yo, but what are they means in America because at the no neat.
Oh, me that's.
But you see, all that you've said is appropriate, but what are the MPs in those areas doing?
Because how no because the MP on your agent of change.
No, so you can lobby. You see, you can lobby.
Or they are not agents.
Lobby.
They are not agents of change. They are not agents of change.
Agents of development. In all jurisdiction, lobbying is a they can lobby.
You see,
so that
you see, you understand? Out of the four, four constituencies, no. NDC or Mienu, MPP or Mienu. MPP has Lambuse and then Sisala East. NDC has Y East and then Sisala West. Now, some can say Aban Mienu in our Mabako, and yet nothing. MPs no, you only say area hono. And I say, ya Casacra, I'm saying Quetri. Ya Casacra Munti. Because you know, say, even Roads and Highways Minister, Office Sisala West. And yet our roads are terrible. Only, or no, so Okokan, Sam, or no, so Keda. Keda, oh yeah, radical Keda, Semna, and Mama, praise for my mama, a unifrio. Until I'm saying, I'm quite but yeah, for much.
But when found chance press freedom, and I said, okay, you live in chance, and I said,
no,
press freedom.
See, small issues. Me was small issue.
Oh, small issue. Okay, fine.
When him say, look, me, I'm one of the people that must support to free senior high school because coming from North, I know what free senior high school, free education has done. On say North, the Nkrumah by no cry, and yet totally free in Susao, and so we also used to pay a kaka. And a call I just called say, yes, here free senior high school, and yet they buy books, they very massa. Now, as a free senior high school, so per se or buy a idea. Government has taken the burden of tuition nibibia. Now, skaka crowd one of talk extra books now boa and was a problem. When it was there before free senior high school, Bebano, it was a perennial problem in the northern sector. Time I southern counterparts, was secondary school, no, na ye say bursary releases or bursary, and not northern sector, na ye tifi. That was how the situation was. Say no with free senior high school, Charlie, I didn't obia. Seska ni ho ye nyina yetifie seska wo ha ye nyina ye school. That is equity. Nti the only thing is about TV problems no government has started solving them, but we should take education. President Akufo-Addo say education ne major priority. So I hope I expect about discover so that feeding problems in secondary schools because it is not the best. A small boy and a small girl, age 13, 14, 15, or the empty stomach classes into a now also you also mention GMPs in the this guy. What is GMPs? They are building schools. I think one day you should host Dr. Buana, Dr. Jobs Peter friend we are also contest youth organizer. These other area. I'll get you the name once we are. So Dominic, something from the Dominic. So omo ye niema bebre. It's not just sponsoring blaster. So mon share omo social responsibility our BC schools. In fact, omo astroturfs and we know the importance of astroturfs in our communities, especially Zongo communities. So if you Zongo now say see astroturf or area now be who importance of astroturf.
It's interesting to Awudu and the meeting come on maybe the astroturf home come.
Astroturf there one day February. One day.
So now day but me the one person no farm no be fa honom. So over me area over me area me Zongo. Over me Zongo me say over me Zongo. Me need toilet facilities or now we see astroturf mamia.
Zongo
me
Zongo
say
it's a general thing.
General thing.
You see
the Zongos look drainage, even just common drainage facilities at the Zongos. It's a problem. Common drainage facilities.
That is another issue.
It's a problem.
That is another issue.
And then you're telling me, so somebody is going to build an astroturf, remember say mano.
Oh, have you heard of Zongo Development Fund? Have you heard of Zongo Development Fund?
And that goes to the development of the Zongos?
You don't know that? Oh. Me see, one day host
and what's happening at
me see one day host Yaya Danfo, Yaya Jafaru. One day a PRO for that fund. Yaya Jafaru, formerly of graphic. The Sano projects on my in Zongo communities, including toilets, are okay. But call him too.
Zongo.
I better on Sabon Zongo. I want to woman.
Now, maybe Zongo.
I met her also. Ask my people, my main family now say every weekend they are Zongo.
Wow, every weekend. I mean, time I Zongo.
The guy, me say me ya woman was Zongo. That's why I voted since 1992.
The priority of a Zongo is not astroturf.
It is one of the priorities.
It is not.
One day you want us to have this argument.
What purpose does the astroturf serve the people in the Zongo
communities? Let me tell you.
We have problems with water. We have problems with drainage. We have problems with toilets. We have problems.
Do you know? Who says that government is not providing toilets in? Do you know a house? These houses, households are provided with toilets. You know, there's a government, a policy from with the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources that are providing houses with toilets. You don't know this?
Sure.
One day we talk about
the hierarchy of needs.
Yes, exactly.
But it's part of the needs.
I'm coming.
It's part of the needs.
I'm not discounting that AstroTurf is not proper.
What use does it say?
I am saying that in the hierarchy of needs where.
What you say AstroTurf? Let me tell you. Oh, sorry, a weekend and now BP. When it says youth unemployment and also. Kozongo with the way see Madina Diano. You go there even Sundays and see the youth engage in football. Some of them have been able to name or to quite a mobile ball. Uga said Zongo people no more say muche CB to come and play national team. You know how they started? You look at the Zongo communities, more Zongo, more ball, these national teams, and local teams.
Sir,
I don't think that
look at them.
Everybody is downplaying.
Look at them, and instead of Obiwoha, and health grounds, Obiwoha weekend, or sorry, not say on your Juma because of AstroTurf, at least what we call exercise. That's number one. Who improve your health? Why are you laughing? You don't know that the way exercising in the morning improves your health.
I'm listening.
You don't know that.
Then those of us who don't have AstroTurf, then what happens to us?
So it
is not a need.
It is a need.
It is not a need.
In fact, one day,
respectfully.
It is not a need.
That is my view.
When Honorable Atachian was the Minister for Works and Housing,
yes,
he promised how the government was going to elevate the Nima.
You don't. We want to. You want to go to that topic.
Wait,
you know why that project cried? It didn't see the day of light.
Why?
Obi Wohwa on the family house. Some people.
I'm coming to my question. I'm building.
You ask your question.
I'm building.
No, I am a Zongo. Look, Zongo is very important to me, even than your Zongo. One day,
the GMPC gentleman is called Dominic Dia.
Dominic Dia, yeah, Dominic
Dia. One day. My intro.
Dominic now can I say?
Dominic Dia. What their friend on one day, now inviting them on
there is a public library there that I benefited so much. I've been trying.
Yes. But they are building schools. Basic level, all the
back.
I think, sir.
Dominic or contesting and a B.
Dominic.
Yeah, the issue now. Moment step it back.
Yeah, let's step it back. But before we go, say, you know, better or raise the issue about Kakudi. It is very, very important.
Kakudi traffic.
Traffic, no. Very, very important.
2 minutes per.
What do you say? Any free SHS, we have policy during the implementation, problems, I'm saying we don't need the big professors to come out and now say, free SHS, no, I'm saying challenges. It's a good policy because, I will form to me boy my secondary school. What about your colleagues are wanting to secondary school and they are money's opportunity. So I support it, but governments should go back and review the policy, because this morning I think that this policy is being threatened, given the reportage said schools are not able to get the needed foodstuffs for the survival of the student, and it is worrying. What do you say? And all in all, no, let me say, last week, Auntie Asampa, and the Omanson Funana, Alquachi, one of them. Yes. I'm funny crancy, Mamuya, and the Bugri,
yes, my senior friend.
How you say it as
yes.
We need people.
One of the voices of reason. Very controversial. Yo, moving question, any press freedom, one, I am with you. How do you ever go and say? And if also who's all church or moment, church, I mean,
Sammy, the rich here, a tear for the Guano Mohe. Saying, almost a bang almost set. our more here no more tea. Yes, Romo. Nyansa ni back 14. Ebi a betra na e ka bibia. Yanka ne ya mo fanche. Wa ahobrasie mo. Omo so mo de omo contribution ba. It should be devoid of those attacks, innuendos and vituperations. Some of them say the press freedom, ranking be by Reporters Without Borders. Yeah. The Nemambi Betuja, how Ghana has performed poorly in terms of young record. And about some years now, I've been see that. Yes. It is worrying, and every president, every government must be worried. Say, such a ranking, say, there is this attempt to muzzle the media. I have listened to discussions coming from the president of the Journalists Association, Ghana Journalists Association, Mr. Roland Afelmoni. I've also heard some concerns raised in similar regard by our own Yao Ayeboafo, the NMC chairman, and subsequently the response coming from government side. Sorry, I've also listened to some government communicators speak to this matter, and you get worried. Yeah? Same as you take the credit, you must be prepared to take the debit. Because about say Ghana, anya festa, and I am say aban move for beji edi ahwa mo. Say debit number, mama yenji, go back and see where we fell short to correct your mistakes. Sami, we have all maintained here, say, the inability of governments to communicate proper and be proactive will always cause them. Why? We have allowed overzealous security personnel who claim to be loyalists of parties. So when that party is in power, they don't even respect their authority. And so in order to please their political masters, they go harassing media personnel just to suit the whims and caprices of these masters. And they sit, those appointees in government sit down unconcerned. So one, you cannot blame, say, a government appointee being a wakwakoye bibi. But because government's failure to communicate and call those people to order, that is why this is happening. I will not sit here to say, there might be a cause of some attacks on the life of or on media men. David Tamekula, Obebua Mudi, the editor of the WhatsApp News. Omuchino, that was last year, April. What was his crime? That he has done a teaser of a story about Abaye. And then Obifil said, Nikun, a police penny, right? Inti, Wama, Omaba Bechin in a Rambo style at the Nako police headquarters. They have to drop the case. They finally dropped the case, that they won't pursue the case. So you see, when you allow people like that, because me kunu ye police penny, meanwhile, Sawu kunu, he is not the first and he will not be the last. Okay? Since the inception, police service, the Inspector General of Police are those days, someone refer to them as the Chief Constable of the General Constabulary. Almost short. Say biya bako. Nansenya ye nimukra poko aba, alasanko aba. Kuda alo no mu apietu no mu ene adru ayebra dampare so ono so beko nimne dua obeko. So you in the police service, I feel say you can use your position just to intimidate, harass people. Please, government must begin. And I agree with our own good Professor Kakari. Now listen, we must blame these security personnel who go harassing media men in the name of their political paymasters. So if government, all this is happening, reports are there, and for me, it will be strange, say, Abambia, Beba, especially national security, and there not be a desk to monitor media. That media monitoring. Say, oh, which reports are out today? Na yen share where we need to work on it, follow up, Nina for. So if you sit down and you don't work on it, and the ranking comes, and you feel so bad, then you resort to.
But Andy, why is the focus really on what some security personnel are supposed to have done or not done in the name of a government, and forming the basis of the ranking as to the deteriorated Adena?
That is one leg of it. Mm-hmm. That is one leg of it. Yeah. Number two, you see where the intolerance on the part of government appointees, where they think that they shouldn't be criticized, and that when you criticize them, you receive all manner of threats, death threats. Masa, I, even within NDC, for taking on my own party people, feeling saying you might be a cause, I've received death threats. There were attempts were made on my life, but hey, but we will continue to speak the truth, because see, when we don't speak the truth, this country won't go anywhere. So what I'm saying is that, one, government appointees must be very tolerant. I'm not saying that you should succumb to whatever the media personnel is doing, what they are saying, but you must be tolerant. It depends the way you speak to the issue. But when people, there is a report, like this report I've listened to some, solid guys speak on this matter. And meanwhile, let me salute our own brother, Kojo Oponkruma, when he spoke to this ranking issue. Yes, but measures be or yeah. But measures bakubia or boy about some coordinated effort, like an initiative. I almost started discussion 2020. Media Commission is supposed to lead that discussion about monitor the safety and security of the media as we speak, because of the inability of government to release funds. But
I thought some media personnel had been taken to Kumasi for some training. Even David Tamakul that you mentioned, I think
that is different. That is different. I think that was a separate arrangement from Kojo's own outfit.
No, it's part of the government and this thing.
But not the one on the safety and to monitor the activities of the media. That one is in the bosom. That one is in the bosom of the media. But this one,
yes,
Media Commission, any GJ, any ministry of it, they are collaborating to do that. To do what you are talking about.
So does it not add up in terms of the indexing for a year to determine whether there's a commitment on the part of the government to ensure that there is media freedom?
Yes. You see, there is this commitment, but you see, there is commitment, but Niamey can say government appointees, some are very intolerant. Anytime you raise issues, trying to criticize maybe a policy, a program of the government, they go bonkers and engage in all manner of vituperations and threats and whatever. That is it. But me, when it comes to these rankings, I'm very, very, very cautious. Where some people with that bias and prejudice will see somewhere, and pass judgment on this country, we need to be very careful. There are some of our colleagues, but Akarina Bu, and Tiyenhu Krama Papa. Apologies to but Akarina Bu, Tiyenhu Krama Papa. Because sometimes you switch on your tele and you hear people who in fact, it's three basic things: we inform, we educate, and we entertain. I don't know whether insult forms part of the entertainment in the education. Massa, naked insult. and I won't repeat them here because I mean this platform is so refined for us to repeat such words, and you sit and say, what is happening? These people are their managers. Are they watching? Are they happy with what is happening? Some engage in blackmail. Some engage in blackmail. I've heard people who claim that they are not working, they are not giving, they are not having the free space, they are not having the peace and security to work. Zilch. They are working. It's because they have issues with one or two persons in government based on certain agreements that they have reached or their relationship God, sir, and that is it. So when these rankings back, now move fast say, during some regime, I was free. One me when death threats have been made on me, people have followed me, but I'm still working. I will continue to speak the truth. By e-levy, why nobody should attempt to say I will cancel e-levy just to wound we Ghanaians? No. And I will say it based on a conversation I once had with the late President J.E. Mills.
So, Andy, so what part say there's a cause and effect?
Yes. And
the person went, emphasis on post security personnel be. Now, Obia Betina radio, she know what dear tem. Obia Betina TV, she know can't or cancer my any muna say. Any partners or react here.
You see,
and this is where
that is where sometimes they get it wrong. And when the ranking is done, it is government. Obi Betina radio so, and I know you've done it on countless occasions. Say Obi can't be anymore. You first check. Massa say send panu withdraw. You do even do it to your cherished callers. So where the tree sign, where the yema wonka. Say Obi ti radio so now can't be na who feel send your walk no. Ebegu when you feeling as for. You know the appropriate authorities to go to seek remedy. It is not about, calling in the police to come and intimidate them. If there is an element of criminal aspect and you think that, you can report to the police, that one I have no issues with that. But just say somebody has done a report, please, either the first steps, either you draw the person's attention for retraction apology, and now you go to the National Media Commission. If you are not satisfied, you go to court. That is it. But me issue is say when in Crawford television so radio so because you have the platform, you can't continue, and it is happening because people have the platform.
It's journalist money association, it's National Media Commission. There are some networks maybe a journalist, me from a video to hot and a part no way.
You see,
there are some networks that made from a video to
that is where you blame some of the media owners and institutions, because it won't happen here. Here it won't happen. Other civilized network NDC, but some have allowed this thing to fester. That early morning, they allow their people to sit on radio and just insult people, run people down, engage in blackmail, and you think that the people will not feel aggrieved or something like that. But media when omuye sanyemana, just resort to the appropriate authorities for redress and remedy, instead of going that Gestapo movement, style, getting people because minimobi. This is me I say na minimobi or police. And I bra Awudu. Na echinabi wo oyejuma obebe na me say now esa Awudu kra no my men friend no. No, that is not the way to go. I cannot call because I have in Crawford baby. They say Sami Awuti said sui. Now obi feel say just by association. Obi aye bibidi my men can't tell Sami or ba won kan TV so. No, yenye juma sa.
Alright.
Inti Sami on the ranking, I don't think that, yes, partly we can blame government, partly to Masa. Media now organization, we must blame ourselves because we have allowed these filthy activities on our airways and people engage in blackmail. And you are talking about whether NMC ni we say ni ho. Obi say tuning in as if for ya omoye. Omo ka say damu po. You see this internet thing. How do you how do you even monitor them? Omunya 1 bedroom be now your activity. How do you monitor? You don't even know where they are.
But we are talking mainstream.
Mainstream, yes, I agree with mainstream.
At least they should be able to act in the mainstream because one man make say TV.
So I think, sir, the NCA, the National Media Commission, the GJ, and the Giban, this report, we also have a role to play to reverse this trend, and we can do it. We can do it, right. And critically, I think, sir. The media too will need to be very careful and not in the name of press freedom. You go and run somebody down. In the name of press freedom, somebody will come sit on television set and insult somebody's parents when he cannot do same to the parents. Is that a way to do it? Can't we criticize? Can't we discuss the issues without necessarily insulting people?
Who's Awudu Chocho? Who's an Facebook pages? Be
Awudu Mahama.
Why Awudu then now then
I want to state, sir, and Sami, this platform is a very revered one. I don't see that the media is being censored or something like that. There's no censorship. People are doing their way. We are serving, we are doing our way. So we call you baby born here and I'll be sure. What do you say?
But on that score, no, we have heard or had information to the effect to say there have been instances where people have been called, stations, networks have been called, say, Asumasi, Mama name free show we say so, and as Mama name free network we say so, so haven't we heard that? That's not an amount to censorship.
You see, we have heard that, but I don't believe, sir, when he obi ya betina say na obi afre Samuel free nerikoi and he can come ne Awudu and mamu metra so Sami ojo ubepre.
Well, a management decision.
And so it depends on yema on SAR station ni sankrofo.
All right.
Last week, when this issue, we were discussing this issue last week.
Yeah.
We see I started saying, oh, what better show? So what can be now? I feel now I pick a cramo.
Yeah.
Because we media personnel, and in fact general, they are not being paid well. Yeah. It's one leg of it. They are not paid well, so they will go do the bidding of the politician without thinking. So or the big cramo now started. You were discussing all these things.
True.
So let me leave.
Awudu.
My brother, because my uncle was here in Musa.
Awudu
or Babe Bumi.
Yanko.
Oh.
Peronis are some.
Yanko.
This guy want to disorganize me on the face. Always you're funny crazy.
Yanko.
Sami, this year, as a Ghana, yeah, sinking from 30 in the world to 60. Africa, no, from number 3 to number 10. Some there are so many factors I decide by, and the government mentioned one of them, say methodology. And I have seen people say, "Oh, man, downplay methodology." That methodology is done for all countries, and that it is the same methodology done for a military state like Burkina Faso that is doing better than Ghana. It has done better than Ghana in this ranking, and I'm going to show you something. The reason why they have done better than Ghana. If you look at a report, they have categorized it that the general media landscape, that generally Ghana and media, we have liberal system, pluralistic media, and radio stations. They are free to be set up. We are free to set up those. And over political contest. Over a political contest, then they came to legal framework and over economic contest, and then safety of journalists. Over a rating, over political indicator, politics, Ghana, we have improved. Now, in fact, we had 66. Say was 66 political indicator, and an economic indicator. On a problem, no, 47. last time, no, if a political indicator, Ghana has improved. Now a 54, say 66.61. Oba economic indicator, now it was 69, say about 47.22. Economic indicator means the general welfare of journalists in the country. Now over a year,
it's a decline.
A decline. Well. The welfare of journalists. That's where that has contributed to our great ranking. And that is why if media houses, journalists, any GJ, any media foundation, how are we making sure, say, journalists, economic condition of journalists are improved? That will be one of the surest we are ranking back also. Government, the associations, media houses, how are we going to make sure, say, economic condition may improve? That's if we do that, then our ranking will go up. Now, if you look at most of these people who are shouting, senior journalists, journalism is under threat. We have media houses, newspapers, and all that, whose reporters are not paid anything at all. They go out there, do all manner of things to be able to survive, and sometimes they step on toes. Sometimes they do things that are not journalistic at all. Sebi uko we obi there na say obo asuma. Because say journalists here we are. But we hear something now amount to because they want to survive. Some are engaged in all manner of things, so that and these bring some of the attacks by journalists. So we should look at the economic condition of journalists. And another factor I also say, we also look at political contest. It said generally we are free to enter political contest. As I said, we had a legislative contest last time. No, there were 27%. Say there were 81.42%. That is legislative. It means that the government has put in place certain laws ensure say freedom of information and expression. Only say you pass Freedom of Information Act 2019. But it took effect last year because Omoma grace period say you find set it up near maybe so it took, and that probably has led to our performance in the social sector. Social sector, so last time you had 53, this time you had 79.64, and in total no. And our security indicator, the last time were 101. I don't know how this came about, but this time we went down to 62.25. Now, the economic aspect, actually brought us down, and that's where I said we should be looking at. Now you come to that from there. Let me come to the methodology. Another factor Emma Yoko. One said previously they used to do quantitative analysis method. Quantitative, they simply look at journalists are here Muslim have been slapped. Journalists, how many journalists have been attacked? How many journalists have been killed? And that they just put them together and get the figures. This time around they have added the qualitative method. And the qualitative method, it means that they are interviewing people, almost all my interview media senior journalists, civil society organizations. Oma interviewing and their perceptions and their opinions have been fed into the report. Now, if you look at Ghana, we have a liberal system. You will CSOs, you will journalists, will be a kasa. You think that, and there are journalists that have their opinions that they think that the media has been gagged. We have made that argument here. And those that think that, no, we are free to talk, but we should talk responsibly. Now, when you be if the Reporters Without Borders, so moko besa a journalist be a critical say media has been gagged. It's being gagged in this country. Definitely opinion which means that the media is under threat, and that will feed into the report. So if you just oppose that to Burkina Faso, I know they have a lot of radio stations, they have, but this is a military regime. How many CSOs are free to talk? How many journalists are free to talk in a military regime? So if you see that we have added a qualitative where people are free to talk and they have expressed their opinions, some negative. The negative opinions will influence how the report will come out.
But why would all of them express a negative opinion?
No, I'm not saying all. No. I'm saying, I just said that some are favorable, some are negative.
Of course.
Exactly. So the negative one will appear. But you have a country where you don't even have freedom of civil society groups to express their views, or journalists.
But how do you know that they didn't express a contrary view to what you are saying? How do you know?
Which one? The military regime.
The military regime. How do you know that? Because this is a private. This is a private where anonymity of that individual is guaranteed. What do I say? In conducting the research, like if I'm coming to speak to you,
yes,
I'll tell you, okay, we are conducting this research.
Yes.
Your privacy, your identity is protected.
Yes.
We need your view on this matter. So.
Yes.
So the person knowing say the identity are protected. No.
Yes.
Why would the person not speak the truth?
But so how many CSOs are in military?
How many journalists are in that country? They could have
what is even their population?
It doesn't. If you go in that tangent, then you be diluting the conversation.
I am not. You see,
you'll be diluting the conversation because if they take a sample size of, let's say, 10 for Ghana,
yes,
and they go and they take a sample size for them, also 10 for them, does it matter if there are 100
sample size
journalists?
may not be the same because because of population size.
Yes,
but are you taking sample size? You
which
also
reflects the size of the population.
Yes.
So whether they take 10 or whether if, let's say, for instance, Ghana, they take 10 journalists because of our population, let's say 30 million.
Yes.
And then they go there and then their population is, let's say, 20 million.
So are you saying the effects are made? Are you saying that this thing, media is freer in Burkina Faso than a place like Netherlands and US?
But that's
why I'm giving you these reasons. That's why I'm giving you these reasons. Because if you look, Burkina Faso has even done better than a place like Netherlands and the United States. That's why I'm giving you these reasons. And this is a military regime where we have lived in military regimes, where media has operated in military regimes before. I have at least lived in one or two. I have seen, not as a journalist, but I've seen how media has worked. We've lived in this country before where since I started this job, you'll be at a press conference where party members will be behind you, waiting to hear the question you ask. If you don't ask a question that they seem to be palatable or reasonable to them, they give you a slap from behind.
So how about Rwanda that is also doing poorly? That is in there. Almost you interview.
That is what I'm saying. The factors. That's what I'm saying. You should look at the factors. That's what I'm saying. You should look at the factors. All the factors. I'm looking at all the factors. The economy, the political, the legislative, and all that. I have given you the factors. So, and I'm saying that Ghana, for instance, the major one are above on your economic factors. Look, let me come back to. In fact, that is where my meat of my economic indicators. Look at the media house. We have even established media houses in Ghana. Their journalists have not been paid for months. And the journalists, the type of that particular journalist, and then does he eat grass? Mama survive. And do you know how they survive? I am not saying all journalists do all manner of things to survive. Criminal activities. I'm not saying that. But see, when the journalists, some
are really engaged in the defraud
exactly,
people in the name of journalism.
Even that, if we are not economically independent, let me make this point. Let me make this point. You are not economically dependent, and somebody calls you, says, "I mean, we will story be waha." Charlie, ena omaska. For that story, because you don't have any means at all. And I'm saying mama survive. Some may go for that money and do the story that may not be true. And when it is not true and it is against somebody, then the person is also free to act. It is the action that is a problem. For instance, if a journalist writes something against you or be against you, the result is not to go to the police because it is defamation. The result is not to the police. The result is to the media commission or to court. If Samuel Trobe be against me, I mean, if say no prayer. First of all, I'll ask you to retract. At the end, no prayer. Who refuse and give me equal measure? That is a year or rejoinder. If you don't do that, I have media commission to go. Say me call media commissioner. It will tell me. If I don't want to go to media commission, I'll go to the court and sue you for defamation. That's how you should do. But you don't go and call police, But sometimes you see this allegation, now police are hung up near David Tamaklo. The man was treated like a criminal. And what, even his, I understand fear now or only fear crime, people saw him. So they went there and his kids were there, police paraded the place, and they arrested him, put his handcuffs on him. The trauma on kiss and that's why you have to say we are individual not say obi trouble be against who. The resort is not the police. You resort to link media commission or court for defamation. But where police force you be report
economic asemi are okay. Forgive me for this comment I'm about to making. But you may be a journalist at your man with him. In case a journalist drive your man with him. And how then do you come to tell us, oh, economically journalists are not doing well?
You are even bringing my point.
I'm bringing you home.
How are they getting the money?
Oh, but what are you talking about? So are you saying that in journalism?
We know look, let's be brutally frank in this country.
Yes.
In journalists are media houses, their newspapers are not selling. They are in fact newspapers generally are not selling in this country. Some don't have known jobs. Your said this is his company, this is it. And they are riding Land Cruisers in them. Why do you think they get the money from? Let's be brutally frank in this matter.
So where are they getting the money from?
That is the question you should be asking. So don't tell me, say, you have journalists also are more engaging in business, or more business. If you look at some of the cases are cited in the report, some have been because of Obi charged for fraud. Obi say a fraud case.
Yeah.
The fraud. These are journalists. Exactly. They are charging you for fraud.
They are charging you for fraud.
Why? Well, all these are fed into the report. Into American economic situation, no, it has fed into the report. But my problem, the only problem are this: Obi koye fraud. Men use the security system to harass a person. You can.
That's not fraud, a criminal offense. Also,
no, fraud is a criminal offense. That's what police will come in. But the report, as for fraud, is a criminal offense.
The problem with your position, which is the correct position though, is that how many people know that in civil cases, it is the National Media Commission they must go to. Because in this case, no, I'm not talking about journalists. I'm talking about
people. Okay.
Because on my way say, we be a police in the aircraft. What you ask for my ring work catches must assume now and then retract it or something tract it. Okay, we got nearest police station on me honum. Opening what you ask my friend I'm inviting and name business say I don't know what you ask we have. I asked and me go court. That is the process we know.
Yes.
Be it criminal or what?
Or civil.
So that's what's in our minds. Yeah. So the National Media Commission, a lot of people don't know about them.
Okay.
So we would obviously resort to the police.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, even the Ministry of Information here on it is about stakeholder engagement, engaging the public about these issues. Here, education. When your problem, the journalists be control be etiawa. The result is not to police. Look, as we have been saying, Ubetima Media Commission, and now Ubetima who lawyer, we are a lot of lawyers who do pro bono.
So are you also saying that the policeman who names say Sakis Nabano Hono, I was saying National Media Commission?
That is the problem I have. That's it. Look, that's the reason why if you look at the security indicators, security security office, but that's also part of the problem. Oh, your police officers and so as I've spoken about journalists. There were police officers who call report to case. Now say all this cat to hope. This person I want him locked up on basis here. It's a general it's in the country. It's a general problem that we have to solve holistically. Into Ubasa, economic, look, again, if you want to practice as that's why I'm saying that as journalists we should be responsible, and even our organizations too should be very responsible. Because if you look at a training ban a journalist, we have media houses the ethics of journalism. Let me face it, we even have many journalists who don't even have GJ code of ethics to know what you should do and what you should not do. They don't have GJ code of ethics. They don't even have.
They don't know, and you said they don't have.
If you don't have it, how will you know? You should go access it and be able to learn and know.
Some of our colleagues,
they don't. They are not even
the last time they've even fetched a book to read? In fact, about what is happening in this country in terms of lawmaking or whatever.
So that is a major problem in our economy, the training of journalists and retraining of journalists. And let's give it. these media houses, again, another problem is these media houses and these newspapers are majority are set up by politicians. If you are if you are a journalist working in these media houses, you know what to do. You yourself sitting on this show, if you are doing something that is against where your owner leans towards, you are also in trouble. Well, so that is.
As for that one, I'll dispute.
No.
I'll dispute by saying.
All, but so there are some who have left their journalists to do what.
Because I had the.
No.
Had the.
Oh, I know your owner.
The point
yes,
is that
I know your owner. That's why you, Sammy, you are able to do some of the things you do.
I had the.
No, as for I know they are, but they are media.
By heckling us.
No, not just heckling
us.
Look
at
not just anyhow. By being hard on government. And that is the truth.
Yes.
But being hard on government doesn't mean you are maligning government. You should be critical.
I'm not only hard on government. I am hard on the issues.
Exactly.
I'm hard on the issues.
But some people who are pro-government or pro-opposition will not allow you to do that. That's my point. Because they are set up by politicians. You go to look, I don't want to mention radio station and TV station.
Don't.
You can't go there and pretend to be against this party or another. You have to support this party.
There's no neutrality.
As a general, no. As for neutrality, it's even a dead.
Now you are for me.
No, you are for.
Awudu, me do be say, tell, e-levy. Under 4 minutes.
Oh.
4 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we general.
I see a public about the.
Oh, Charlie. Yeah, now my time. But now we call it.
See, a journalist in Abezo Kabim. Okay, we are in within for the 5 minutes.
Okay, well, then, I can e-levy. Oh, e-levy. I have said, if you put a ballot box in Ken Ofariata's house, what the ballot box is to her, I can say, vote to Obian vote to say, obey to your tax and I want your tax. Ebia Ken Ofariata or your finance minister obey Lusu. Because the fear for Krabeka say, yeah, to your tax.
It's e-levy.
Yeah, no, tax in general, not just e-levy.
I say e-levy.
Okay, e-levy. On to your. Because nobody, look, even the advanced countries, why do you think people are charged for tax fraud? Because nobody wants to dole out money just like that, say, to your tax. But because of enforcement of laws, and to your taxes. Now let's come to e-levy. As I said, e-levy no matter every amount for power, and I do a lot of momo. But the charges, if you send money, I'll be e-levy. I don't want to mention network, but there are networks there. Okay, let me mention because they are there.
Yeah.
Vodafone.
Yeah.
Vodafone, fortunately, Senia, it's the only e-levy that you pay from your. You don't know any other charges.
Yeah.
E-levy until Senia, you know, I'm saying 400 my younger brother. I paid 6 CDs, and I have always said, e-levy na yet what we should be insisting say, scammer. Yes, the e-levy is That's why I blame opposition for working out on this e-levy act. Because if they had we would have created creating a special fund for only e-levy, so that e-levy is fund so that now they have worked out. E-levy, no, yes, you just can fund to the National Consolidated Fund. And now, when government puts this money in Consolidated Fund, the amount no say no to say schools are yes anyway. Obekwa e-levy ska no the amount. So rules no also obey no. But if you say this is what you want to do, use the money for, use it for that purpose. But
the who funds are earmarked for specific purposes. They have been used for other purposes before. No,
but that one when you do that, sometimes you have to account for. You return the money. You return it.
Yes, but does it happen?
It happens. But once the emergency.
Well, but we know that.
Say. Once they starting a problems by, might say, MTN, maybe my network, as I said, Vodafone, we never experienced that. Say, as low as people 10 cedis scroll, much charge e-levy, or more via GR, so may returning such monies. Now, They have done it. Okay. They have reversed.
They have done.
Oh yeah, yes, I read something like that.
No, you read because you see, I interviewed. No, I'm
but
surprised. I'm surprised.
Those raw food
Me time now.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I spoke to Mr. Kenashibe here. This was last week, I think Thursday or so, where he made it emphatically clear. Say at the moment, the GRA's platform is not what they are running on.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. They are running on the telcos themselves.
But that's the agreement now. Yes. That's the agreement now.
So then, how does the GRA know what has gone into the systems and what has not gone into the systems?
No,
that's where the challenge would be.
No. Don't go there. Because even the normal before before e-levy, government knows how much volume of transactions every network year. That's why they are able to value their transactions. Just last year we did over 970 billion in terms of value of Momo transactions. So they know how money goes. But before e-levy, send this camera here. Your network is able to reverse the money.
True.
So that one is no problem at all. Let me come to, before you take my time, let me come to reverse our former President Mahama. Say, Obe Scrabi e-levy. Why are you laughing? Because look, that's a political talk. It won't happen. Ghanaians should just rubbish it. It will not happen. Look, let me tell you, because there's no record of any government reversing such major policies. There's no measure. No way that no nuisance taxes or no emphasis papa biamba. Mami, don't distract me. May say former President Mahama, he's been a president for 4.5 years in this country. Look, this is somebody one to me, he did not bring any economic tax policy to generate enough money for his government. To the extent that baby onye say obenya taxes, taxes on condoms, taxes on cutlasses, taxes on fishermen, any nema. Taxes on your local government. You didn't have any economic tax policy to generate income. Because of that, MP for so. That's why I said there's no record.
They didn't have any record of.
That's not. There's no record.
Innovative.
No.
Taxes. And I'm saying energy sector.
Esla wa na omo policy condoms ni condoms before Esla beba na impose condoms ni.
Yes, but there's an additional tax which has been innovative.
So if you additional tax, correct?
Yes.
You are even coming to my point. So you are coming to.
But you are saying that they haven't brought in any innovative tax.
Esla was anything to solve energy sector problems.
Yes, but then
you woman no
me
see obi a oni okay, let me add it to it. Or innovative policy or the Esla. Yes, I agree.
I say that.
And all the wo because of who pay is the Esla buy obi might be for be policy about be more billions of cedis also about obetwemu which sebi
no men can sebi
will do that. Nobody will do that. And I'm saying that a government that has even imposed taxes on condoms in classes, we say that condoms are free condom because they per se prevent HIV and sexual transmitted disease. And look how they call the car say so that people you know what they will be getting. You know what they will be getting.
They'll get what?
Now they are not so be HIV. Now say one use condom. And yeah, it's now there.
I said a bit me in another sense. A bit me I can say, oh, unis canal better men ko bogi no. Abstinence. It was the ABC.
Abstinence.
It was the ABC. Abstain. Be faithful and then use a condom. There were three. I didn't promote.
Abstinence no na problem.
I tell you problem.
Man no be firewood. Look, let me catch you.
No, abstinence. What was the report?
When you say
review that 3 ways, no abstinence, no never.
When him say, let me come to the reason why I said they will not cancel it. Over talk tax, communication service tax, service tax. Also, OBA one ya. NDC name in talk tax. Na communication service tax. And NDC here no talk tax. The OBA one ya tax so that if they can, they will cancel. Did they cancel it? In fact, they added it. Eno na akufo de ba ya ye youth employment ni ejida eno ski ka ho na ye saska no na ye di wajida no okay that's talk tax money. Did they cancel it? let me come to MPP so. MP bags are ESLA on Metromu. When they came, did they cancel ESLA? Energy sector a levy act. Did they cancel it? So Wood government has a track record of cancelling major a year, a discount billions. So you know, a nuisance taxes. So even some of them are government scabby, even the money used in collecting the taxes were more than the taxes in Ankasa. That's why they cancelled them.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, sure. 5% VAT and NHIL on real estate sales. Excise duty on petroleum products.
You see, real estate sales. How many houses are sold in this country? How many houses are bought in this country? Oh, Massa.
Premium home see.
Oh, Massa Jai.
So you mean that all these splash houses that are coming out, people are not buying them?
It doesn't give you the billions like e-levy will give you.
But they're scrapped.
They scrap. How much is it? What is the quantum?
But there was no revenue. Anyone out here, like I say, you're saying, toll levy, toll boot. I
am telling you that politicians are smart.
Okay.
I am telling you that politicians
they can construct the roads at Lambuzi.
I am telling you that politicians are smart. They will scrap taxes that will not give them billions. You think they are fools? Now who you see minimum. I did a of 5 billion. Who's who between? Who's can look for? What year you bet you much? Yeah, we need scout bet you. And yeah, no, because we didn't have money. That's why.
Many of proud Kasawa with discontinued. That was, I think, Friday. Emmanuel catch them say.
Yes.
There's money in the system. There are blockages to be made. There's corruption to be fought, and all these are sources of revenue and prioritization of the expenditure.
President Mahama, what they were not sources of revenue.
Question I'm going to say,
they were no sources of revenue. There were no leakages to be blocked.
Yanko.
Massa, when my politician be under that, I think MPP and NDC, they have no record of cancelling any major tax in this country. There's no such record.
And Yanko.
Nuisance taxes are also
when it comes to our revenue mobilization in this country, the leakages and seepages will continue to exist. Number two,
that you people have been talking about.
Number two,
nobody chopped 12 billion
where people in any of the this favoritism, where people in government can place a call to revenue officers. We are Minipa Jano. So, and I don't think any political party, opportunity, no more party, got Abemwa, they will not do it. They will continue to do it. E-levy, let me say the Queen of England. Onukra, a young Crawford Martin was the one called Philo. So you want the Queen to be hungry? No, much call police for no work here. Onukra will be tax, Benedict Kakra. So as for the tax, and yes, but I think that is the only way we can mobilize resources to prosecute the development. We are yearning for the hospitals, the good roads, like my brother's place, Lambusi. What they are saying, they can build those things and provide, like, as per the provisions of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Say, at least nearby says amenities equally. It is the revenue that we need. What I think we should be doing fairly. Sometimes the media houses, I've been monitoring you people and I commend you highly. We must hold government to its feet. That is the only thing we do. And I would do Kano. Musemoji 11 Modi A B C Y Z. What we need to do is that we must see the dividends. I want told you some year honorable Makwata letter an act of parliament, something that is backed by law. You actually letter or later to say why abolish it. I mean the dividends no na ensure ukwakodu tobu to na galley wo manhole kese wo. So yes, these are some of the things I say yes, Sammy. We have all been doing some. Sometimes say young people na wa bamuna ukokam you are feeling obia to aba me to aba obia ni bia me to aba ko ba niema bi koso na nsese nya meka. That is the only way we can build a better Ghana. So as for the revenue, yes, it is hard. Say obetua tax we say, but let's hold government accountable. Say you share tax. We want to see the dividends of the tax. And you say better tax. Now more to Land Cruiser. Airco trips. I mean, huge we say entourage. Our model there be any sign of penal. When you say we are not in normal times, please let's just be moderate in our expenditure. Now say me say organization me be institutions me be too coin. Now crofo amode call ye. Ubeka so mo ye crusade.
And then wait him body. And I'm
body.
No. I'm working on my stuff. Raymond, I'll make sure say.
But the fact of they are state institutions, right?
Yes. They are state institutions.
That's all.
And I'm just working on it. I'll give you the
fact. We saw the videos on social media.
Yes, I saw the videos. Yeah. Almost entourage amude coin easy. So to the taxpayer.
Not journalists in a room.
Journalists. So the point is that Sabai said Nyemanko be given the ravages of the COVID-19, the Ukraine-Russian war in Asifona. Masa, as I say, yes, so ye Nyema, we care and we are concerned. And then the issue of security has also come to the banner. That if we are not careful, and that is why I always have support my brother's cause regarding the hometown roads. No, if that place is one of the major food baskets, yet they don't have access roads to transport
farm gates, farmlands.
So what are we doing?
Farm, and in fact,
on the cancellation of
how much you talk of farms.
I heard the former president also saying that MPP4 made promises to Hunwick Ghanaians. I don't want to believe, sir. I don't want to believe, sir. What he's saying will not end up being one of it. Because, listen, it won't happen. It won't happen, sir. NDC be the best they can do is to review it. Who said President Mills?
Review.
To review it. The best they can do is to review.
You can increase it
downwards.
When you review.
Downwards. Say from 1.7 to 1.
1.5. He said
1.5 to 1. And that was the position of the minority leader in Parliament when he had when he joined the telecom chamber in some we say no, because we need a revenue. 1% will be okay. And I think we sat here.
I think you give me 1 minute to wind up.
We sat here and supported that position. Say,
I'll give you.
Then they should bring the toll levy. Fine. Why I say this will not happen?
But to say minority leader na nkasa asema no work out.
Or no minority leader asema no work. Minority leader on
or no asema no work.
The minor.
Yes,
the leader, the person representing the party in parliament, or no national worker. Oh, that's Jesus Christ. Yeah. No problem. You see what I'm talking about? So when you talk about these things, how things are not being done properly. So who and who came together, say, oh, it's a decision way, now say you see. The former president is committing. The former president, no, his pronouncement on the cancellation of the e-levy is just committing the NDC vehicle to a suicide mission because it won't happen. Because you won't do it and you pay dearly for it politically. Because there might be a.
But say you say 1.5 na so mobile power na so or the ba one
can say or the ba one also a cancel.
See about ya be who situation who say no. Ade no. Send na esitie no.
So situation.
Ni enim send na esitie.
Uti bench na.
See about who say it I one.
Akwa to say.
I don't move.
No tete akwa to say Saturday.
Ade e be so msa.
Akwa to say Saturday.
Why is he not saying government should reduce?
Akwa to say Saturday.
I say I catch government should reduce.
No, what reduce here? From 1.75 to 1.5.
And 1.5 they can say you pay. On my one me can say me pay 1.
Yes.
Me so me na me pay 1.
I was
expecting say the former president who told the position by consensus. They will deliberate, say, oh, it is not about no, something that will bring money to the national kitty. You won't say you won't do it, you will do it. Sure? VAT.
But they are talking about the unbearable hardships on Ghanaians.
Oh, massa. Yes, So the market that I
go, we say even with all the hardships, too quiet.
That is what
that is
the recklessness on their part that we should be concerned of. That is what the minority should be interested in. I am telling you, you are the representatives of the people. And so you make policy, you make statement on the floor. You drag ministers, sector institution heads before parliament to answer questions. So so then now it's life, it's telecast live. Questions are being put there, people. Then we will also follow.
Now, what's he saying?
Yes. Politicians pay politically for some of
you don't know.
They pay.
Now, what's he saying? Oh, my brother.
30
seconds.
As for former president, Asema Okan, politically, and Yakra, and Siso, and Ghana for a moment to
yo, you don't say.
30
seconds. 30 seconds. There be 30 seconds.
Also, Opariado, youth organize on so per re-election. Into or best support to Mahama, because Mahama super re-election. Look, when he told you, say, NDC fan support Haruna Idris Unei, do you know that NDC for they took part in this e-levy business until last minute walk out? In fact, Harun lead minority leader Haruna Idris and Sam George, deputy ranking member of communication, they proposed amendments to the act. Say how the money should be utilized, how the money should be accounted for. When you know they fund you the law.
But you know that in the long run, it is the lead parliamentarian, the chair, who determines whether your input is coming into the final draft or not.
No. As for consideration, look, they do it. I have been in parliament for years. And when it comes to lawmaking, they want it to stand a test of time. To that one, they don't bring politics to consideration.
Oh, my brother, we have sat here.
I'm telling you.
We have had instances where the minority.
If you don't do it well, it may even be unconstitutional. So when it comes, and then let me come to cancellation of e-levy.
And that's what Canada. Yes.
Me so anytime. Papa when I saw Vodafone and I could phone Vodafone. Yeah, Papa vice president. On na callant Vodafone.
Mama face here. Time naso. Madam wase. Me fa kola jara time naso. Madam fa kola. Me sa adi kan madam wase. Awudu Mahama wa share batakari. Green and brown, fine one pa. Madam Musumasi say anapem be come say me mudi nkom but somebody tactical you dey women na mo kasa fam enya adwuma ye dey be see how them say